What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the tavern. I'm Spencer.
And I'm Eli.
And this is Bardic Blunders. And today, we're going to be talking a little bit about the Game Awards because they're only like a month away. And that sounds wrong because I feel like the other Game Awards just happened. But, you know.
I gotta open up your stream really quick. Give me a second.
uh, I hate it. Time, time moves too fast. But, yeah,
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's actually a pretty fantastic list of games released this year. It's funny because I'm looking at a lot of these games. I'm like, oh, these released a while ago, and I'm like, oh, that's the funny. Okay, little side tangent. That's the funniest thing. How I can be like, wait, it's already the Game Awards again. It doesn't feel like the Game Awards should be here. It doesn't feel like a year since the last one. But then at the same time, I'm looking at games that released literally this year, and I'm like, oh, these are old games. These were from a while ago.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest. It's so weird how it can how it's both at the same time. I should also probably tell the Discord that we're live.
Okay. So the nominees will be announced on Monday.
Oh, why aren't we waiting until next week to talk about this then?
I mean, we can't. The whole thing is I realized on my drive home from work today, I was like, oh, the Game Awards are coming up.
That's fair. But I mean, yeah, we can touch on some of the games that we think should be involved. I think Black Myth Wukong is gonna win it. Um,
Oh, is there very much competition other than like Final Fantasy?
Even then, Final Fantasy, a lot of people weren't huge on it. They thought it was good, but I didn't recall hearing any Game of the Year stuff around it. Persona 3 is very niche, and everybody who played it seemed to love it, but also everybody who played it is a JRPG fan, so,
Yeah.
you know, it might
So,
make the list just off of that merit, but I don't think it'll win.
so here is a prediction for Game of the Year nominees.
Okay.
Astrobot,
Yeah,
uh,
definitely. That's actually probably
Bala,
going to be Black Myth's biggest competition.
uh, Balatro.
Balatro?
Yeah, Balatro.
That's probably going to be Indie Game of the Year.
Yeah,
Uh,
Black Myth, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor, Re-Fantasy.
Refantasio.
Yeah.
So you're not going to put Space Marine 2 up there.
Oh, that's what they're saying, but I'm like, also like, I don't know because like Helldivers could be in there because it wasn't on last year's.
It wasn't, but I think the controversy earlier in this year. Well, it wasn't on last year's because it released this year. But
Yeah. Oh shit.
yeah, exactly. Uh, February of
Uh,
this year.
it
But
it might make it for like storytelling or like community service, you know.
oh yeah, maybe multiplayer. But it my thing is, I think that controversy earlier in the year just freaking
So
killed that
there's
game.
still a there's still a pretty big fan base for it though.
Yeah, of course, but it was
Dude,
insane.
if they had not messed that up, I think that game would only be going better.
Oh yeah, of course. Uh, another Crab's Treasure is going to be another one that might sneak in there for a nomination, but again, I don't think it's going to win it.
Um,
I've got to admit, I'm actually really excited for Marvel Rivals. I think that might actually be pretty fun. That's the Marvel Overwatch
oh,
clone. And then
I haven't seen anything about that. But then again, I haven't been really paying attention to video games right this moment.
do they do DLC of the year?
No,
Okay,
maybe. Hold on. They might. Game Award.
because if they
But
do, Shadow of the Erd Tree has that 10 times out of 10.
Oh yeah.
I mean that DLC was good enough, and dude, it's freaking big enough that people were saying that it should be considered for Game of the Year. And obviously it won't be because it's attached to another game, but still.
Okay, let's just look at last year's. Um,
It's funny how every time FromSoft release a game, it's just like guaranteed Game of the Year quality because they knock it out of the park every single time.
so so you have Game of the Year, mobile game, voice acting, anticipated game, which is next year's stuff, narrative, debut indie game, games for impact, family games, ongoing games. That'll be the DLC stuff. Action, best adaptation, content creator, multiplayer, performance, esports, independent game, RPG, fighting, esports player, score and soundtrack, audio design, sports and racing, art direction, VR, community support, studio game direction a second time, innovation in accessibility, esports team, best esports coach, best esports event, strategy game, action adventure.
Okay.
And looking at last year's, it's really funny to look at it because Baldur's Gate swept everything.
Oh, yeah.
All the major things. Baldur's Gate won multiplayer game of the year.
Yeah, I mean, that game was phenomenal and it absolutely deserved all of that, um, all the accolades.
I am kind of upset with Game Awards because it used to be on my birthday every single year, and then they changed it. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
They changed up the day of they changed it to December 12th from the 4th.
They didn't want you to enjoy it on your birthday.
Dude, that was like the best part of my birthday growing up. Is like I got to sit down and watch the fucking Game Awards.
Oh boy, I think Animal Well will also likely be in it for Indie Game of the Year. I I haven't played it obviously, but a lot of people talked that game up big time. Uh, yeah, I don't really know what else.
Um, Stardew might get best ongoing game too.
Oh yeah, that it could.
I hate to say it, but it might be Stardew versus fucking Elden Ring for best ongoing game.
Yeah, Elden Ring might. I mean, I don't know. Can they consider Elden Ring an ongoing game when it just had a DLC released? It's not like
Yeah,
continuous
you can.
updates.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, that'll actually be an
Be-
interesting one to see then, because I feel like
because that would just be a hysterical because it's like one guy versus probably the best video game company out of Japan right now.
right. Well, and the thing
Actually, probably the
is,
best video game company in the
in
world
the
right now.
world, it's hard to argue from soft. I know a lot of people who are like, I see it on the online all the time. And they're like, oh, FromSoft games are for stupid idiots who don't like to value their time, and it sucks because it's hard. And they're like all kinds of uh people whining about that, but uh the thing is, it's been proven time and time again that FromSoft has a winning formula, and they create masterpieces every single time they put pen to paper. It's they never release a half-baked product. They don't do microtransactions. They don't, there's so many things that are trendy in the game industry right now that it's like they're trying to wring their customers out of every cent. EA. Uh, or they're buggy and practically unplayable on launch. Bethesda. Um, and From Software totally doesn't do that. They're like, hey, we spent 5 years working on this game. We put our heart and soul into it, and we think y'all will like it. Here you go. Here's a game.
Honestly, FromSoft versus Larian Studios would be a kick-ass year.
Seriously. Because yeah,
That would
If
probably
Elden Ring had released last year instead of 2022, that would have been quite the fight.
I honestly, if I was Game Awards, I would have probably split the Game of the Year between the two of them. Just been like, the votes were that close, or like, hey, this one won by one vote.
Because when was the last time we had a truly good Game of the Year competition? Because like I can remember 2018 had God of War and Spider-Man, and I think unfortunately, even with all of that, freaking Last of Us 2 ended up winning, which it did not deserve. Uh, Now I want to look up.
I'm already okay. So
Because 2019 was Sekiro. Sekiro won Game of the Year, and I don't think it was all that close. Let's see. Game of the
that's
Year.
British.
Sekiro Shadows. Yeah, Sekiro won. Control. Control was actually, a lot of people said Control was great. Death Stranding. Wow, that game's already 5 years old. The Outer Worlds, Resident Evil 2, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Okay. So that one was decent, but I still feel like everybody kind of knew that Sekiro was going to win it going in.
Hold on, uh uh where I went to Wikipedia like an idiot.
Oh, no, it was 2020 that Game Awards. Yeah, that Last of Us 2 won. When they had freaking Animal Crossing New Horizons, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, and Hades, where literally every other game in the running was better than The Last of Us 2, and it still ended up winning. That was the year where I was like, okay, the Game Awards was rigged. That was.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but like 2021 wasn't that big of a year.
I knew there was a year here recently that we talked about that it was just like, yeah, there was really nothing this year.
Oh, fuck.
2018. Okay, God of War did win, but there was Assassin's Creed Odyssey. There was Celeste, which that's I forgot about that. That's right. Celeste like broke the mold by being an indie game that made it into the Game of the Year conversation.
And it broke the mold there. Yes, I will 100% agree with you. And then what studio came up afterwards? That really threw everything off.
I can't remember. But yeah.
Stray.
Yeah, because people were saying Stray will be competing with Elden Ring, and everybody kind of knew it wouldn't. Like, let's be real, there was memes going around about it, but no, there's not going to be another stream today, Bug. I thought I was going to stream earlier, but I got tied up with other things.
Hold on. I'm on the ring year. So, okay, Game of the Year. These were the games for Game of the Year. Elden Ring, A Plague Tale Requiem, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So, Forbidden West flopped.
Well, Forbidden West was decent, but it was just one of those things where it was like, it just kind of made it in there because it was one of the few big games of that year.
Yeah. Xenoblade Chronicles came in last place.
Right.
God of War Ragnarok, okay, versus Elden Ring. That was a good year. for
Yeah,
like.
but again, I still remember like it was pretty unanimous heading into the Game Awards that everybody
Yeah,
knew Elden Ring was gonna win.
yeah, and it's like Stray was like one of those that it's like, wait a minute, what?
A lot of people were thinking Stray might sweep in and steal it, but I never believed there was actually a chance. Uh, so I think 2018 is the best one we've ever had because it was God of War, 2018, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, and Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh man, that is a really good lineup.
Every single one of those I could have seen winning Game of the Year.
You could even make an argument that Celeste should have won, and it's an indie game made by like 5 people,
Yeah,
I
it was a
think.
very small team.
And it's a 2D side scroller in 2018.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, who won in 2017? Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild, Horizon
There
Zero Dawn, Persona 5, PUBG, and Super Mario Odyssey. My personal vote would have been for Persona 5, but, bias.
um
You hate the guy who walked onto the
2021.
stage for the Elden Ring? Oh, yeah. The guy who talked about Bill Gates or something. Not Bill Gates, Bill Clinton. That weird guy.
We could have skipped 2021's.
So what was 2021?
Uh It Takes Two, which won. Deathloop, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village.
Oh, yeah. I think
It
Resident
was,
Evil probably should have won it, but
but like, that's the year before Elden Ring. That's the year after Last of Us. So it's kind of hard to.
let's be real.
eh,
Last of Us did not deserve it.
Yeah. But it's like, look at the genres of games that have always won. Action role playing, first person shooter, Overwatch in 2016. Action adventure, action adventure, action adventure, action adventure, action adventure, action role playing. Role playing.
Oh,
It,
man. That's, there's a freaking bug flying around my room, and it like. I'm gonna burn this place down trying to kill this thing.
Also, From Software is the only repeat on the Game Awards,
Mm-hmm.
which is
I'm actually
crazy.
curious. Game Awards 2016. Overwatch.
Yeah.
Really? Dark Souls 3 wasn't even in the Game of the Year conversation? That's a
It,
joke. That's a freaking joke, dude.
Overwatch should not have won. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, comparing the others, Doom, Inside, Titanfall 2, Uncharted 4, Overwatch was a phenomenon. Like
Yeah.
that's you can't deny that. Overwatch was huge in 2016.
Yeah.
And that's why it won. But
Like Titanfall 2, man. That one, Firewatch made it in for best narrative. Inside had no words in it. It was a that
best
was a
indie game.
Yeah.
Okay, Dark Souls 3 at least got a mention for best role-playing game, but it still lost to Witcher 3.
That's a hard one to. Yeah, that's also saying
that, but...
The Witcher 3 also did not get involved in the Game of Year.
No. What about 2015?
Neither did
Witcher 3.
Dishonored 2.
Wait, what? How did Witcher... Huh? Witcher 3 won Game of the Year in 2015, but it won RPG of the Year in 2016? I'm confused. 2015 was actually a freaking solid year, though. Witcher 3, Bloodborne, Fallout 4, MGS
Metal
5
Gear
and
Solid.
Super Mario Maker.
Actually, that is kind of a stacked.
Bloodborne should have won, but again,
Uh,
bias. Massive bias considering it's my favorite game of all time. uh
oh man, 2014 isn't even. Middle Earth, Shadows of Mordor should have won
I can see
over
why
Dragon
Dragon Age
Age.
Inquisition won though. Dark Souls 2, real Dark Souls 2 is 2014? Wait, what?
Yeah, it's only 10 years old, man. Best
March
indie
11th,
game was Shovel
2014.
Knight.
Okay, I thought Dark Souls 2 was 2013. That's why I thought there was a 3-year gap between 2 and 3. I will continue to die on the hill that Dark Souls 2 is a fantastic game, even if it made some mistakes that some of the other Souls games didn't. People
I just
trash
watch your
on
man.
this game like it sucks, but it's still good. Oh, dude, 2013 it was called the Spike Video Game Awards. Game of the Year, GTA 5. Okay. BioShock Infinite,
okay.
Super Mario 3D World, Last of Us, Tomb Raider.
The original Last of Us and GTA 5. That's a good running right there.
Telltale's A Walking Dead won Game of the Year in 2012. Oh, Assassin's Creed 3, Dishonored, Journey, Mass Effect 3. Yeah, absolutely. That was a great... Oh, yeah. Take a guess as to what won in 2011.
2011. What games came out? Skyrim.
Yep. Nominees were Arkham City, Skyward Sword, Portal 2, and Uncharted 3. Portal 2 might have been my vote, but I like Skyrim. Don't get me wrong, but I think
Skyrim was a phenomenon.
2010 Red Dead Redemption 1 with Black Ops, God of War 3, Halo Reach, and Mass Effect 2 as the other nominees.
God.
2009 Uncharted 2 won with Assassin's Creed 2, Arkham Asylum, Modern Warfare 2, and Left 4 Dead 2 as the nominees.
We were 10 years old.
Yes. 2008 GTA 4 1, Fallout 3, Gears of War 2, Little Big Planet, MGS 4 were the nominees. 2007 BioShock 1, nominees Halo 3, Mass Effect, and The Orange Box, which was Half-Life 2, Portal 1, and Team Fortress 2.
That's hysterical. that would have won Game of the Year.
2006 Elder Scrolls 4. Nominees: Gears of War, Guitar Hero 2, Okami, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, Advanced Warfighter.
That's the thing. It's like the further you go back, the less video game companies were really competing.
It's just some big name. Yeah. 2005 Resident Evil 4. Nominees: Call of Duty 2, Fear, God of War, World of Warcraft.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah. 2004 GTA San Andreas. So GTA has won 3 Game of the Year awards.
And they will probably win another one next year when GTA 6 comes out.
There's a good chance. Burnout 3, Half-Life 2, Halo 2, MGS 3 were the nominees.
So here's the problem I see. Is if Elder Scrolls 6 comes out next year alongside GTA 6, I think it will be a brawl.
Elder Scrolls 6 isn't coming out next year.
I know.
But I bet I could give you 50 guesses and you would never guess what won Game of the Year in 2003.
03.
03. Some fantastic games in 03.
Yeah, I was 4 or 3, so I would have been 5.
On
Oh,
December 2nd, 03. So you would have been oh,
5.
held
I would have
and
been.
then aired on December 4th.
Hey, um, shit, I don't. Uh, I'm gonna. Shit. Did Nintendo make it?
No. They did have one on the nominee. That was Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker.
Yep. Yep, that makes sense. Um, mm. So that means it's either a Sony project or a Microsoft project. And this is back before 360 came out.
Mm-hmm.
God, I'm not too familiar with the original Xbox and the PS2 games. Um, Shit, man. I don't know.
Madden NFL 2004.
Okay, we can end the podcast here.
With nominees like Freedom Fighters, GTA Vice City, SOCOM 2, Star Wars Galaxies, Star Wars KOTOR, Tom
Oh,
Clancy's Splinter Cell, Tony Hawk's Underground, which, riddle me this, Batman. Madden NFL 2004 won Game of the Year. You want to know what won Best Sports Game? Tony Hawk's Underground. How is that possible?
yeah.
But anyways, Bug, you asked what games came out this year. We were saying things like Black Myth Wukong. Actually, Hellblade 2 might sneak in there as well. Stellar Blade is another one. Helldivers 2. Space Marine, Shadow of the Erd Tree is a DLC, so it can't go for Game of the
Space
Year.
Marine might do good.
Final Fantasy Rebirth. Yeah, there's a lot of solid. Persona 3 Reload and Metaphor ReFantazio. Astrobot as well. Those are the games we were kind of talking about. Like, they could be all in the running.
Yeah.
There's a couple other games you might hear the name of. Like, you might hear Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy brought up. Not for
Hey
Game of the
Spencer,
Year, but...
can you keep them entertained? I
Oh,
have drank too much coffee.
lovely. All right. Well, that's rough because he was kind of the driving force behind this next segment. So let's take a browse through the Steam store real quick and see. Oh, Steam Cooking Fest. What game is in my cart? Oh, hold on. There's a bug on my microphone. Hold on. It's going to be loud. Warning everybody, take out your earphones. I got him. Okay. Oh, that's what's... Let's see. What's on sale on Steam right now? Astroneer. Norland, Hearts of Iron. What's this Cooking Fest? What's this Steam Cooking Fest we got going on? Tavern Manager Simulator. I have that on my wish list. Plate Up. Chef RPG. Overcooked 2. Cooking Sim. Galaxy Burger. It really is a bunch of cooking games. That's phenomenal. This is the most fantastic sale Steam's ever had. Dungeon Munchies? Is that a roguelike? That is interesting. No, Barista Simulator? Dude, I love the number of simulator games that they've brought out thus far. Or recently, rather, I should say. It's remarkable. Like, I want to play Tavern Manager Simulator.
And I'm back.
Ale and Tail Tavern. Steam is doing a wholesale based on cooking games.
Excuse me?
Go open the Steam store. Steam Cooking Fest.
I just did. Played up, okay.
Chef RPG looks interesting. It looks like Stardew, but you're a chef instead of a farmer.
I have one problem with all of this.
What?
It's too close to real life for me.
Chef Life, a restaurant simulator. Oh, if I'm not called 17 slurs while I'm trying to make the dish, it's not realistic. Let's be honest. Okay, anyways.
This is the one. This is the one that I yelled about. I think at you and Alex when I tried it.
Cooking Simulator?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Cooking Simulator was the one, because I played it a little bit. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I think you'd love it, Eli.
I did not like it. I threw a massive fit about it.
Yes, you did. You got a conniption about a cooking game. But anyways,
me wanting to throw hands with a game.
Yes. Our next segment was Eli hates cliche writing.
French. Learn how to speak the French.
Niet. Я не хочу быть здесь.
Cliche actually comes from Arabic, but...
Oh, so the French do nothing but steal things, too.
Exactly, man. Why do you think French cooking's the best? They stole everything from Italy and Spain.
Dude, it's so funny to me. Okay, quick tangent, but it's so funny how there, like, every other culture in the world, like, if you go to Russia and you attempt to speak Russian, they're very happy that you attempted. They're like very thankful that you were willing to try, even if you mess it up. They're like, okay, you're trying to be respectful to us. You're trying to talk to us in our language, and it, like, they're very thankful for that. In Germany is the same way. They're like, Germany's a little bit more like, haha, we'll make fun of you when you mess it up, but you know, you're still making an attempt. Japan. People in Japan freak out when foreigners actually speak in Japanese. Like, every other culture in the world is like, oh, cool, thank you for trying to speak our language. Except for the French, which, if you speak perfect French, you knock it out of the park, you don't mess up a single thing, they're still like, you're not French. You're not supposed to be speaking that language.
It gets even
Get
funnier.
Away from me, filthy foreigner.
It gets even. This is the funniest part. So, my sister keeps texting me. She can shut the fuck up.
All right.
She's like, I left my chargers at home. Can you bring them to me? I'm like, no, I'm streaming. Dumbass, don't forget your chargers. French people, the only people that they hate more, speaking French than, like, people who French isn't their first language, is Canadians. French Canadians actually speak a more, an older form of French than French people do.
Okay.
So, technically, French Canadians speak better French than France.
That's just like, don't Americans speak closer to
Old English
than British do?
Yep. It's all because of the accents. Because it's a weird language tangent, but they because the American English is not accented as much as the British English. It makes it older is how they assume it is. Same thing with French Canadian French.
Right.
Because we also speak a much slower English than England does.
Right.
It's also like a great way to look at it is like people in Spain versus people from the Caribbean versus people from Mexico. They all speak Spanish. They don't speak the same Spanish.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, I mean, even within America, there's different. Like, you talk to Southern people, and some of them do like people think Boomhauer from King of the Hill is just like a character. Like that's really you talk to some Southern people, and they sound like that. It's just like, oh man, so I just kind of did this thing today, and I went and drove my car down to the gas station, and I went and got myself a couple of root beers, and then I went home and I watched the game. And it was pretty good, man. Like that, legitimately, I've talked to people like that.
Yeah.
That's the one reason I can understand Boomhauer most of the time. It's because I've talked to Southern people.
And then you get into like the mix because like Creole has two variations, which is hysterical to me. You have Haitian Creole and you have French Creole.
Right.
And basically one's more Spanish, one's more French. But the two sound almost identical.
But
which is really funny.
Anyway, to get back on topic. What cliche writing are you gonna whine about today?
So I was scouting out the next season of anime.
Okay.
And oh lordy, there's a lot of like new original anime which is just like, oh man, the strongest guy in the party got kicked out of the party and must make a life for himself.
All right.
And that has been done so many times recently.
Well, yeah, it's a trend.
Yeah. But to me it's like, I'm okay with cliche writing if you do it new and original, but if you're just gonna copy and paste, there's no fucking point. I'm just tired of people copying and pasting the trends that work.
Well, and that's why I mean, you look at the big animes, and you kind of see a theme. With the bigger ones are always the ones that break off of some sort of trend. Like you watch Black Clover, and oh, it's a world with a bunch of mages. Oh, okay, so it's just going to be some fantasy magic thing. Nope, the main character has zero magic whatsoever.
And when he does get magic, it's anti-magic.
It's anti-magic. And it's not like, oh, the main character has some bigger, crazier magic than everybody else. No, he legitimately doesn't have any magic, but that gives him his own unique power. That's fascinating.
And he gets possessed.
He gets possessed. Yeah, exactly. But then you've got...
I will say this. Black Clover did something really interesting when... It's like explaining, like, there's 3 leaves to a clover, and it's like, it explains the 3 leaves, and then the 4th leaf is luck, and then the 5th leaf, and the 5th leaf resides a devil.
The devil.
It's like,
right.
That's cool. I might have to go rewatch Black Clover now.
I just needed to start putting out new episodes soon. I want to see more so badly.
I think it's coming next year.
Good.
Or the year after.
But
it's not too far away.
Yeah, and that's what always grabs you. It's My Hero Academia.
Okay. My Hero, One Piece.
Uh,
We may not like One Piece because of how long it is, but One Piece has captured a lot of people's hearts.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's huge. It's one
Just
of the biggest anime right now.
just because it's like, okay, it's pirates, but pirates with superpowers.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, and
That's
that's
such a goofy, like, funny thing that it's like, okay, that's actually pretty. I like that one.
and sometimes you don't even need an overarching story to be unique if you have a unique idea, like Undead Unluck. The
Yeah,
reason I got interested in it was because it's
the
oh
opening
man,
scene.
this is such an intro. Well, yes, the one scene obviously kind of hooked me, but when I actually started getting into a little bit, it's like, oh, everybody who has powers has an unpower.
Yeah.
Right? You have undead. He can't die, and he just regenerates limbs. And by the way, him doing things like cutting off his own finger and using it as a bullet is fantastic. That's a unique idea in and of itself. It's not just like, oh, I can't die, but I can't really do anything else. It's him just being like, check this, cut his hand off and then shoots it like a rocket, like it's some kind of mecha anime. It's that's fun to watch. But
It like Free Run's another one where it's like, okay, we're gonna watch the heroes defeat the demon. Wait, they already did it?
yeah, they already did it. This is what's happening afterwards. Okay,
Okay.
it's
Cool, we're just following an elf mage.
it's the same reason I
Oh,
like One Punch Man, because One Punch Man absolutely.
I did
I,
go and watch One Punch Man, by the way.
oh, what did you think?
I I was not the biggest fan of certain characters.
That's fair.
Well, I adored Satama.
Saitama.
Satama. Yeah, I loved him. He was so funny to me. It's like, I have to get to the farmer's market!
Yeah, he's fighting this big. He's like the demon bug, and he's like, "Oh shoot!" Immediately kills it, and Genos is like, "Master, where are you going?" He's like, "I have to get there before the sale's over."
And then when he goes and takes the hero exam, and he, like, completely flunks out, but his physicals, they're like,
He's
oh
so
my god.
stupid that they put him in C tier, but his physicals are like incredibly remarkable. Like he's got a 38-foot vertical, consecutive side jumps.
And then another character that I really, really, really liked in that show that did not get as much screen time as I would have liked was Moomin Rider.
Moomin Rider. I knew exactly who you were gonna say when you were saying that.
He was such a good character.
Exactly.
He's a hero who understands his limits, and he's like, I can't keep pushing because I can't. And then he fights the King of the Sea and gets smashed.
He knows
But
he
he
doesn't
doesn't
stand a
give it.
chance. But
And he still fights.
he's like, I'm going to stand up until I can't stand anymore because these people need my protection. I love Moomin Rider.
That is what a hero is.
I also love when he fights what is his name? Supersonic Speed? Supersonic, whatever the guy's name was, the ninja.
Yeah.
And like swings the sword at him and he just bites the sword and shatters it.
Yeah.
But yeah, One Punch Man is entertaining because of it's mostly Saitama, let's be real. And I haven't seen season 2 because Justin kind of told me that season 2 was setting up for season 3.
Yeah,
And
it was.
I was waiting until season
best.
3 came out and I was just gonna watch it all.
Yeah.
The only thing that I did see was like the first episode with King. And that was pretty entertaining.
Oh. That was another good one. He is such a funny hero because he's always at the right place at the wrong time.
Exactly. Well, and it's so ironic to me that I don't remember the One Punch Man author. Actually, it might be just one. I think he goes by one. But he is writing a parody of anime and doing better story writing than most anime. It's remarkable. And I also strongly recommend you go watch Mob Psycho 100 because it's written by the same guy.
Mm.
And I think that one was really entertaining too. I still
I've
need to go back
also
and finish
heard
that.
Don, which is coming out right now,
Yes.
is really good. And it's completely original. Like, it was one of those out of nowhere things. I believe the guy who wrote it worked on a big project. I think it was a Kame ga Kill.
Yeah, I remember seeing the thing where he was talking about when he was working on the mangaka. He was working the mangaka, which is the writer of a manga.
Yeah. And he was basically
But
he was like, I give up, I'm doing terribly, you know, and his publisher was like, why don't you just draw for yourself, man?
right.
And he just started sketching up Don.
See, this is the thing that I read earlier. There was a time when I was poor. When I was an assistant, the mangaka gave me 1,000 yen and said, "Go and buy yourself a midnight snack." I felt incredibly grateful for that 1,000 yen. I remember eating a little stir-fried pork and buying a can of coffee on the way back, and then going back to work. It was hard, so I don't want anybody else to have to go through something like that. I was like, oh, he seems like a cool guy. Oh, yeah, Fujimoto's ex-assistant. He's... Oh, he wrote Spy X Family.
Oh, he did?
And Hell's Paradise.
Oh, that's what it... Hell's Paradise is one that I think you would really enjoy. Because it's weird, but in a different way. It's not original at all, but it's a great take on the idea of... It's a great take on the Suicide Squad.
Okay.
It is fairly sexualized, though, so... But they don't really show anything.
I mean, that's just the way most anime is. There's not been that many animes that have been bad enough to make me stop watching them. One of them was High School of the Dead. I immediately, first episode, I couldn't finish that. It was way too sexual. And I actually, so this is funny, I'll tell you about this. I was talking with a guy at work who had read Undead Unluck, and apparently a lot of the people who were reading it when it was first coming out weren't cool with the portrayal of Undead and Unluck's relationship.
Oh, yeah?
And that's why a lot of the overtly sexual stuff just disappears after the first few episodes. Because everybody was like, nah, we're not cool with that. And he was like, I gotcha. We'll change it then.
Yeah.
Which is definitely good. But I got a long list of stuff that I need to watch. I still need to finish Undead Unluck. I've gotten back into my little... Oops. I got back into my little slump of watching like
Not
one
watching
episode of anime every month.
Yeah.
It's funny, I'll go on a streak where I watch like 15 episodes in one day. Like that's what happened during the hurricane. I just sat and watched Freerun.
Yeah. Freerun's... Dude, Freerun was such a good... And season 2 is coming.
I'm excited.
I think it's going to be one of those... I think season 2... So, here's the thing. I know how Free Ren has to end, if you catch my drift.
Okay.
And because the manga's not done yet, so this is just speculation, but I understand how it has to end. Like, they reach heaven, and Free Ren gets to talk with Himmel.
Mm-hmm.
She gets to see him one last time. Fern gets to talk with Hyder. And gets to see him one last time. Stark is either going to talk with his brother, or he's going to talk with Aizen, because Aizen's going to die before he gets back.
Okay.
And that's how I feel that one's going to go. I also really, really, really hope they bring back that cleric.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I liked him.
He was such a good addition to that cast, because it's like, oh, this is just like a bunch of kids. Oh god, this is just a
Well,
bunch of
yeah, well, at
kids.
least you're the one adult. It's like, oh no, you're not an adult either.
Whereas, like, that's the funniest thing to me, because, like, look at D&D, it's like, oh man, this is just a bunch of kids. Adventurers. And then it's like, oh no, the one mom character dies. Ah, they're screwed.
Oh boy. But Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah, that's happening
I
tomorrow.
don't know how to transition to that, dude. It's so stupid. I legitimately didn't think the fight would ever happen, but uh I'm not gonna watch it. And
I'm gonna be at work when it happens, so I won't be able to watch it either.
I'll probably be at work too. And even if I'm not, I don't care.
Uh, Especially when we know it's rigged from the beginning.
That's yeah. Like,
Because if Mike Tyson actually fights, he's gonna win.
well, my thing is, it's like it's stupid to me because from the perspective of Jake Paul, you're not beating Mike Tyson if you win. You're beating a 60-year-old man.
Who used to be Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Listen, I still think Mike Tyson would kick the average person's ass. But you
You
put in
got somebody.
a decent amount
This
of
was a.
training, like,
This is hysterical. Me and my dad were talking this morning about the fight because my dad says he's gonna try and watch it if he remembers. My father goes, man, Mike Tyson's going to really teach that generation a lesson, and I'm like, you mean my generation, right? And my dad's like, no, Jake Paul's a millennial. And I was like, no, he's my age. And my dad looks it up and goes, oh man, I guess Mike Tyson is gonna teach your generation a fucking lesson. It's
right.
rigged. Mike Tyson doesn't get any money if Paul is knocked out. So now it is Mike Tyson. We may see um and there's been a lot of back and forth with them, and it has not been pretty. So Mike Tyson may just be like, I don't care about the money.
Yeah. I hope he knocks his teeth out because then that's 100 times funnier because it's
Oh, hey
what?
buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, stream's back. Okay. I do really hope that Mike Tyson just TKOs him.
Yeah, that'd be
Just like
funny.
Like, I don't want it to be one of those fights where it's like 10 seconds. Mike Tyson walks out there and cleans his clock.
Dude, I don't know what you're talking about. That would be absolutely hilarious. That would be
It
the
would
funniest
be.
possible outcome. Mike Tyson just walks out, freaking one punch. Jake Paul's just falls over like a freaking plank. It's like, yeah, maybe. Maybe you should go back to the minor leagues of boxing, Paul.
And the sad part is, if he wasn't a YouTube star, I think he would have had a really great time in boxing. I think boxing would have been a lot better for him.
Well, I think if he wasn't such a douche, he'd be better. Because, I mean, you look at who he's fought. He has fought washed up UFC fighters. Not boxers, UFC fighters. He has picked out Ben Askren. Great UFC fighter when he was in his prime, but he was never a boxer.
Yeah.
He picked out I can't remember, Woodley. Woodley, again, great UFC fighter in his prime, not in his prime anymore, and also not a boxer.
Yeah.
It's a completely different skill set. Silence phone. So it's like, okay, yeah, great. Now he's gonna fight Mike Tyson, who at least was formerly a boxer, but is also not only not in his prime anymore, he's over the hill. He's friggin' 60 years old, dude.
Yeah.
He's an old ass man. You're gonna drag this poor guy into the freaking ring? Like, it's so like I despise both of the Paul brothers.
I will say that the training videos of Mike Tyson, of him training versus Jake Paul training, is hysterical.
Why?
Because Jake Paul's like doing his stuff, and it's like, ah man, look at my punch. Ah man, look, I can take a bunch of hits to the stomach. And then they're swinging a 200 plus pound sandbag towards Mike Tyson, saying, hit, dodge, and he's stopping it dead with a single punch. And it's like, oh. That's kind of scary. I do also have to say this. You got to give Logan Paul some respect. He was put on a lie detector. And his brother was asking him questions about the upcoming fight. And Jake's like, do you think I'm going to beat Mike Tyson? And Logan Paul's like, yeah, sure, brother. Yeah, sure, bro. And it's like, lie. And he's like, you seriously don't think I'll win? And Logan Paul goes, dude, it's fucking Mike Tyson. Do you think you're gonna win? Well, I'm not the one hooked up to the lie detector. Well, then hook yourself up.
Okay.
So it's like,
Real quick. Lie detectors are BS.
yeah.
The guy who runs the lie detector can just make it buzz whenever he wants to. They're not really, you know.
Yeah, I know.
There's a
But
reason
it
they're
would
not
have been.
admissible in court. But also, I don't want to give any respect to Logan Paul because I think he's a tool too. Even if, like, yes, it's funny that he doesn't think his own brother is gonna win against Mike Tyson.
Listen, man, if I was in that situation, I'd be like, yeah, no, dude, you're fucking done. Sorry, bro. It's Mike Tyson. Man has killed people before.
He bites off earlobes.
He's a dangerous man. Joe Rogan bought a bigger table Because he was afraid of Mike Tyson.
Oh boy.
This is Joe Rogan. Who's built like a albino gorilla, man. Was like,
Joe Rogan's also not a professional fighter.
he used to be, but at the same time, so did Mike Tyson.
But Mike Tyson was a whole different...
Yeah.
Dude, freaking Punch-Out usurped their own top dog, Mr. Sandman, to put in Mike Tyson as the most unbelievably difficult boss in their franchise's history. Mike Tyson was otherworldly.
And to this day, he swears up and down he would not stand a chance against Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Who was also a very different... they're different ages of boxing, but at the same time, Muhammad Ali was terrifying.
well, they've got that boxing triangle. I don't watch a lot of boxing, but I've it's what is it called? A striker, an outboxer, and I don't remember what the third one was. But it's like striker beats whatever the other one was. The other one beats outboxer, and outboxer beats striker. Muhammad Ali was an outboxer. Mike Tyson was a striker. So it's just by the nature of the thing.
It's Swarmer, Outboxer, and Slugger.
Okay.
Muhammad Ali was an outboxer, and Mike Tyson's a slugger.
Yes, and then so it's Swarmer that beats Outboxer. Outboxer beats
Yeah.
Slugger. Slugger beats Swarmer. Now, obviously, that's not concrete. Like that's not set in stone. But generally, that's how you can look at somebody's fighting style and tell who's going to win in boxing.
Mike Tyson, as he got older, started to become more of an outboxer.
Right.
Just because he wasn't moving as quick and he wasn't hitting as
I was
hard.
going to say, you're losing a lot of that power.
Age kills us, man.
What a profound quote.
I mean, am I wrong, though?
I mean, no.
It wears us down until we are nothing. That's why the famous quote exists. The average age of men during the Greek ages was 18. When you died was 18. In Rome, it was 22. Oh, how heaven must have been so beautiful. Wherein men can die young.
Oh boy. All right. Well, I have things that I need to get to. So, you got your quote?
Yes, I do. If God has assigned us to the role of being dragon slayers, why should we distress to discover the existence of dragons? Douglas Wilson.
Okay. Real badasses eat cookies. I'm gonna get that tattooed on my back in Old English font. Tiny Tina.
You're something else.
Yes, I am. You bring in this super serious literary quote. I will say I was debating between that and the I probably
I
should have been
believe that.
finding you a sponsor, but I was too busy suplexing a shark wearing a bolo tie. You might ask, who is wearing the bolo tie? You or the shark? Answer, yes. From Mr. Torg. Dude, Borderlands 2 has some great dialogue, I just gotta say. But,
Uh, I
anyways,
can't wait till we get there. If
eventually.
when Borderlands 1 starts working. How far along in Borderlands 1 are we in the main story?
So we have to kill Baron Flint, and then it's a couple of the Atlas safe house things, like going to rescue Tannis, and then it's to the vault. So we're not too far off. But we did say we're going to do all the DLCs, so those should be one stream each. Except for maybe Secret Armory of General Knox, because it has an obnoxious amount of driving back and forth.
And of course we have to fight Chromax.
Cromarax. Yeah, I mean, if we get up to that level,
Yeah. Eh. If we do, we do. If we don't, we don't. Who cares?
but all right.
I
Well,
will I will punch Chromax in the nose.
we can just sit in the invincible spot.
Come on, that's no fun.
Oh boy. I love. Have you ever done the DLC, the Headhunter DLCs for Borderlands 2?
No, I haven't played any of the Borderlands 2 DLCs.
Suck. How have you not played any of them? They're so good. Mostly. But the Headhunter DLCs are just there to get extra cosmetics, but they're a lot shorter. They're like 2 missions, but one of them is you fight the son of Cromarax, and while you're going to fight Cromarax, all the original Vault Hunters are talking about like, oh, you remember that one spot in the arena where he couldn't hit you? And they're like, ah, yeah, that was fantastic. We killed him so many times. it's it's so funny to listen to. They went super meta with it, but anyways, that's all we
Uh,
got for now, everybody. We hope you all enjoyed. And I'll catch you tomorrow. I'll be doing a Hollow Knight randomizer. Yeah.
I'll catch you guys next week because I'm working all weekend.
But have a great rest of your day, everybody. Tally ho!